Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how society stops you from manifesting your dream life. Because put simply, it should be really, really easy for you to manifest all of the things that you desire and all of the states of being that you desire if you follow some basic principles. And you've probably been here for a while trying to manifest your dream life, but it's just not happened for you. And you're thinking, well, does it work? Doesn't it work? What's the problem? So I want you to realize that this moment in time, this could potentially be your manifestation breakthrough, where you understand how to actually receive all of the things that you were born to receive, to be, to embody, all of that. So I just want you to understand that you are not crazy for wanting more. You are not selfish for dreaming bigger, for understanding that in your heart you have a dream, and you are not wrong for refusing to settle. The reason that you're feeling this conflict of interest right now is because you have been programmed by society to accept certain truths. But you know deep down inside you that this is not actually the case. You know, you understand, you're like, wait, there's a disconnect here. What I feel in my heart and what I feel that I know from source energy, because if you're here, if you're watching this video, you're someone who is probably pretty spiritual. You probably understand that there's a real disconnect between what you feel and from what people are actually telling you is the case. And the truth is that society has conditioned you to stay small. Now, people are not necessarily meaning to do this in a negative way, but this is the way that society is built. And so, through unconscious programming, this is the way the system works. Okay, and today I want to help you to realize that so that you can break free from this. Now, let's think about this, because there is a silent battle going on all the time. The silent battle within you is judgment, fear of judgment from others, and self-doubt. Okay? So how this all begins is that admitting what you want feels risky. If you were to actually say to yourself, do you know what? Like, I'm going to own this. This is what I want. And you had to go out and tell the world, you know how that's going to be received. You just get it. It's very common for people to have dreams and have them immediately squashed by the people around about them. Okay? So why does society make you feel bad for wanting more? Well, it's because when you admit your big desires, it forces people to actually reflect on why they settled in life. So, for example, you might say to your co-worker, your colleague, you might say, you know what, I just want to be financially free. I know that there's another way to do this. And, they might respond back to you, yeah, we all do. Don't we all, But be realistic. They don't believe that it's possible for themselves, so they can't see it for you either. Or here's another example. You tell your family that you want to move to maybe another country, you want to live in a luxury home, you want to have this dream life, you tell them what's on your mind, and then you get, well, why would you leave us? That's not how life works. Just be happy with what you have. It might not be all it's set up to be over there. The grass is always greener. And that's because they can't imagine it. They can't imagine being so happy and fulfilled and chasing and going after what's on their heart. And they couldn't understand that because it's not on their heart, it's on yours. Okay, but because they can't imagine it, they kind of judge you in a way for believing that you deserve it. Another example might be that you start talking to people, maybe even people that you kind of trust with this, about manifesting wealth. And then people maybe roll their eyes at you. Oh, so you're spiritual and you're rich now? You want to be both? they've been programmed to believe that success and spirituality can't coexist. But who said that struggling is a virtue? Now, maybe these aren't things that you dream of or wish for. I want to just quickly touch on the whole point of the wealth, okay? The reason why I always think it's better to go after what you want materially, if that's one of your drivers, is because if that's really on your heart, that's one of the only ever ways you're going to be fulfilled. Because what actually happens is you go after it, and when you finally achieve these things, what you come to realize is these things are amazing because they're luxurious, they're beautiful, there's a certain status associated, and you get to experience that. But when you keep going, what you realize is when you're focused as well on your spirituality, you actually realize that none of that actually makes you happy. And in fact, it's the personal growth that goes along with all of those things that's necessary to actually achieve all of those material items and possessions, that actually it's the process, the things you have to do, if we're talking about positive things, to actually acquire these, that's the thing that changes you. And what you also realize is, well, I won't go into too much, maybe that's for a different video, but it's important to go after what you want, because there's so many lessons that you're going to learn along the way, and essentially your life is a journey of self-discovery. So really, peer pressure is one of the most toxic things. Pressure from other people around you, and it's not always clear pressure that you can hear and see. Sometimes it's just peer pressure in your mind because you've been conditioned, you understand how people talk, how it works, you've heard other people discussing these types of things. But why does peer pressure work? Well, as human beings, we crave connection, and society teaches us that blending in is so much safer than standing out. So we feel that certain sense of security from staying with the herd. It's really important to us as human beings because that's how we have evolved to be who we are today. Through thousands and thousands and thousands and generations, through the generations, it's been through having strong connections, having a close-knit community. This is how we survived. Okay, and there is a sort of unspoken rule of like, stay in your lane. It's like when you start, for example, you start working out, you start eating clean, you start making positive changes of any kinds in your life. Let's go for that example, okay? Let's go for the physical glow up example. And maybe your environment wasn't always full of people who did all of those things, okay? So it's like, you've changed. You're no fun anymore. I'll just have one drink. Don't be so serious. What's your problem? You're a party pooper. Have some fun. The translation here is they see you. They notice you. They understand that you're making differences. You're actually elevating into a higher level of consciousness. This is what it all comes down to. And people don't want to feel left behind. They don't want to be the only one left behind or the only one stuck, or they don't want to be the one feeling left out. They are going to pressure you at times to feel small because it allows them to remain stuck in their habits and not be the only one. Okay, they don't believe that they're worthy of these changes themselves. Okay, another example, right? You decide to quit your job to build a business. And you tell people about this. Now, that's something I've never really done. I've never told people these things because I'm quite aware of the laws of the universe and how these things work. You don't necessarily have to tell everybody everything, okay? But let's say you do, you tell people, and then what happens behind your back? Your co-workers, your colleagues, people you know, they start having a little gossip about you. Let's see how long it lasts. I bet she'll come crawling back to her job. But it's not necessarily because they want you to fail, but it's because if you succeed, they're going to have to face the fact that they could have done it too. So, have you seen the imagery of the little crab trying to climb over the bucket and all the other crabs are pulling it down? They're trying to pull him back. Why? They're trying to keep him safe. But sometimes being in a bucket when you could be in the ocean isn't the safest place to be. So, people don't know what they don't know. Let's think about a glow up example here, right? You decide to upgrade your wardrobe. You start to wear heels, present yourself as the woman you dream of being. The woman that's on your heart, the woman that you know you were born to be. The woman that inspires her family, her husband, her children, the woman that lights up the room, okay? The woman you know you are. And instead of compliments, you hear, why are you always so dressed up? Who are you trying to impress? Where's the party? She's just too much. Society subtly trains us, okay? Not drains us. They do drain us sometimes, but they train us to fit in. Never outshine others. But dimming your light is not going to make anyone else shine brighter. The reality is that when you start to grow, you start to blossom, become your best self, you inspire everybody around you. The ones who are supportive and the ones who aren't, both of them. The reality is that people who try to hold you back, they fear what your growth says about them. They fear staying small and being alone there. And that's why you need to stay the course. Because there are a few who are watching you, who are ready, who are waiting to make the change. You are going to inspire them. You're their role model. So if you feel it, do it. Let's move on to something that can happen, very common and very subtle at times. Why does guilt and shame work? Well, they work because society teaches us that sacrificing ourselves for the comfort of others, it's the right thing to do. It's the noble thing to do. To appease everyone and please everyone, it's kind to do that. It's nice to do that. Okay, so others might feel uncomfortable when you start glowing up, chasing more. They can project their fears, calling you too much, or maybe you're out of touch now. And then some might even take it to the next level and literally start to sabotage you, mocking you. I've had this from people really close to me, believe it or not. Gossiping, doubting you. You've created a space, a gap in a certain area maybe, or maybe you haven't, maybe someone else has. They've thought that actually now you're elevating, you're changing, you're becoming the next level version of yourself, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever way. And sometimes that can trigger people so much. They think you think that you're better than them. And the truth is, you're just being your best self. Here's an example, right? You've realized that it's time to set some boundaries. And sometimes when people who for a lifetime have not, you've never had boundaries like this, basic self-care boundaries, saying no to things that drain you, for example, or behaviors that are not going to be acceptable for you anymore, suddenly you hear things like, you've changed. You're so selfish now. You think you're better than us. But what they really mean is, I actually liked you better when you put me first. I actually liked it better when you just agreed with me all the time, when you appeased me all the time. Here's another example, okay? Maybe you're someone who actually cares about elevating. You've invested in self-care. You've invested in skincare, personal development, courses, things that some people may not see as an investment or a good use of money, but you know they're an investment. And you hear things like, must be nice to waste money on that. Or, like you might get from family members, we didn't have that luxury growing up. Or you're so obsessed with yourself. But you know deep down that if you were burning yourself out for others, nobody would say a word. You're running round ragged, putting everyone else first and also putting everyone else last and at the same time, because you're not actually being your best self and giving your best to them while you're doing that in the process. That's the thing to do. That's fine. But when you start caring for yourself and your family, it's like, well, she cares more about herself than she does about anything else. And it's not true. It's like you see the value in being your best that you can be at that point to give your best to others. It's the only way you can actually unlock that. So here's another example. Maybe you decide like that's it. You break free from a toxic relationship because you know you deserve more. And then suddenly people around you are saying, you're never going to find someone who loves you like they did. You're too picky. Oh, they were so nice. What exactly are you looking for? Love isn't supposed to be perfect all the time. You see, people project their own fears onto you because your courage to walk away from that exposes their very lack of it. Okay? It's their programming. One more example. You've been working on yourself for a long time. You've been elevating your mind, your body, your spirit, and suddenly, because guess what comes with that? You're stepping into abundance now. You're doing the work. It's happening for you. You're stepping into success. And then suddenly people start saying things about you to each other. She's different now. She thinks she's better than us. Might be like, money changes people. No. Money, financial abundance, it actually reveals people. Your success highlights what they could have done, but didn't. The reality is that people can't control you. And when they can't control you, they will try and shame you because it's the next best thing to controlling you is controlling others and their perception of you. Remember, guilt is only effective if you actually accept the guilt, if you take it on. But when you can see it for the game that it is, and you can put your ego to the side and say, well, you know what? Let them think that. I know that's not me. That's when your life's going to change. So I want to leave you today with some tips for breaking free, because society will test you. People will project their fears onto you. But those who manifest their dream lives, they do it anyway. You need to become comfortable with breaking free from a lot of noise, a lot of people, a lot of the herd, being yourself sometimes for a while, and then making the right connections. See, here's how you overcome it. Ignore the noise. People's opinions don't pay your bills. They don't create your dream life. So why give them the power? Don't do it. Start surrounding yourself with people who are also expanding, up-leveling, upgrading their lives, their selves, their mind, their body, and their spirit. You can find these people in your community, or you can find them online. Energy is contagious. Be around powerful people that are on the same wavelength, the same vibration. Okay, you're going to need to reprogram your mindset. Journal, visualize, affirm your desires daily. Remind yourself, I am worthy of my dream life. I have an amazing free meditation that I'm going to link below for you. It's the Goddess meditation. You are going to absolutely adore it. If you start listening to this in the morning, you're going to be your best self every day. And that tiny thing, adding that tiny meditation, that visualization meditation into your day, is going to transform the way your life looks before long, because you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to see your value, to harness it and go with it. Next, set boundaries and keep them. saying no to the wrong things, it creates space for you to actually welcome good things, the right things, protect your energy. So important. And move in silence. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your glow up, okay? To your life elevating. Let success be your response. If you see yourself in any of the examples that I've mentioned today or in your glow up journey, I would love you to drop a fire emoji if you're ready to break free and claim the life that you deserve. But I also would love to hear from you and your own personal circumstances where you're overcoming right now, because I just want to be here for you and create some powerful content that's going to help you through. I want to close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and let's say this together. I am a goddess, destined to rise above, shine brightly, and claim the extraordinary life I deserve. Let's say that again. I am a goddess, destined to rise above, shine brightly, and claim the extraordinary life that I deserve. And when you claim this life, you ultimately fulfill the whole universe's incredible purpose, because you're lighting up the world as you go. So some inspiration for you. You are a goddess, uniquely designed to rise above the ordinary, step into your divine potential. Your dreams are not too big. They're a reflection of the life you're always meant to live. And I want to leave you with some ways to work with me. As I mentioned, I have a free gift for you. It's the Step into Your Inner Goddess visualization meditation. It is incredible, so powerful. I'll leave it linked below. There's a Glow Up Breakthrough Audit. It is a bespoke, personalized video audit designed to guide you towards confidence, purpose, and balance if you need that little bit of insight from the outside to give you that support, that confidence, that transformation, step in the right direction that you need. And you can also book a personalized coaching call, which is a 60-minute transformation call. It's a powerful, intimate session where we're going to focus on your biggest goals and challenges, and in just 60 minutes, you can start to transform your life. There's going to be more offers on mrsmanifestation.com, so do check by every so often and see. But I want to finish by just affirming that you deserve to feel seen, to feel celebrated, and to feel guided as you continue stepping into your most radiant self. So please remember, you are not here to blend in. You were born to shine, to lead, and to create the life that lights up the world. Your impact is going to have an incredible, profound effect on others. So trust in your power, trust in your journey. Never let society dim your light, because the world needs your radiance. I'd love you to comment below with something you've taken away from today or any future content you'd like to see. You can feel free to DM me on Instagram at mrsmanifestation_. But it was amazing to see you today. I'll see you in the next one.